Welcome to the Moore Realtors Weekly St. Louis Real Estate Market Update. I'm Dennis Norman, one of the brokers at Moore, and if you'll give me a few minutes of your time, I'll bring you up to date on what's happening in the St. Louis housing market. Let's jump right in with the real estate news. Here are a few of the headlines from this past week from St. Louis's best local source of news and information on the St. Louis real estate market. That's stlouisrealestatenews.com. You can get there easy by scanning the QR code you see there. Headlines this week included an article about St. Louis foreclosure rate increasing in September. Foreclosures are bringing a lot of pressure on home prices, and they're up. The foreclosures are up 9.5% from a year ago. Our weekly article from a St. Louis mortgage banker with an interest rate update, as well as some information on the benefits of ARM loans. Even though they've gotten a lot of bad press over the last couple of years, he highlights benefits of ARM loans. Another report that shows home prices fell again in October, and it was the third consecutive month of home price declines. And then a positive article, asking and answering the question, is the housing market seeing the beginning of a soft landing? So you can get that and a whole lot more at stlouisrealestatenews.com. Now we'll jump into market data itself. The first three slides here are going to be on the entire St. Louis metropolitan area. This is all real-time data that we offer. We're proud to bring this. We have data and present the data in a way that you can only obtain here. This first screen here, you'll see, again, this is for the entire St. Louis MSA. We'll see the median price of homes on the market right now in the St. Louis metro area is $178,000. Median asking price per foot, $96 a foot, down a little bit. Average days on market's 190 days. That's up a little bit, over 6 months now. And there's a lot of other data there. You can get a lot more like this at our website, mo-re.com. We're going to jump down to the market action index, though. It dropped a little bit this week. It was 16 last week. It's down to 15 this week. This is like a this is the thermometer for the market. It gives the temperature, it gives the condition of the market. A reminder is our market action index, which was introduced in 2008. If it was a 30, it would indicate a perfectly balanced market, not favoring buyers or sellers. As it goes above a 30, up to a maximum of 60, it's a hot market, a seller's market, and the higher the number gets, the hotter it is, and the more it favors sellers. As it drops below 30, down to a low of 0, the colder the market is, and the more it favors buyers. So it's at 15 now. Here, this chart shows the history of the market action index since its introduction back in late 08. 16 has been the peak. We about hit 16 last week, but now you can see we've dropped back down a little bit. So we'll see what happens next week on this. This chart here shows the median home price trend for the St. Louis metro area. And these are asking prices of listings. This is for the past year. The orange line is a 90-day average of the prices. So smoother line shows more the long-term trend. The black line is a 7-day average, much more jagged and bumpy, but it's quicker to indicate where the market's headed, or where, in this case, prices are headed. And we can see the prices about 182 a year ago, dropped down to almost 172 in the winter, back here in March or late winter, early spring. Hit a peak here in late summer, about 184, and then it has been declining ever since. Just the 90-day average just went through the $181,000 range, but we can see the 7-day average, the black line, is definitely heading down. With a little increase last week, but headed down. So I would say we're going to see these prices continue to drop, the list prices going forward, which probably needs to happen. You'll see in a later chart here why. Now the slides I'm going to show, these are, we're going to zoom in on the market a little bit and go more to the core of the market. This is the St. Louis 5-county area. These charts are made up of data and contain data for the city of St. Louis County, St. Charles County, Franklin County, and Jefferson County combined. This first one shows the number of sales which is represented by the blue columns, as well as the average sales price of homes sold. That's the green line. And we can see here November finished a little with a few fewer sales than October, which would be expected. But we can see from September to October to November a little bit of a steady decline there in the number of sales, which again would be expected. November ended up with what looks like probably around 1,750 sales, give or take. And the green line, the average prices, we can see actually from October, when it was around the 150 mark, it has increased. Going into November here, it hit maybe the 155 range. And going into December, it seems to be headed upward, although we don't have enough December data in yet for it to really be accurate. This chart here shows the median home sales prices as well as the median number of days it took to sell. Now this is for the 5-county area, and this is based on sold data. Earlier I showed you market data and home prices and days on the market, and those were for homes currently on the market, and it was for the whole metro area. So here we can see the red line represents the days on market, and you can see what's happened there over the past 12 months. It increased here going into the winter. We can pretty much ignore this decline going into December. This is based on sold data. Sold data doesn't really hit the MLS, which is where this data is pulled from, for about 7 to 10 days, typically after closing. So we, being only the 9th day of December, we can ignore the December data here. But going through November, we can see days on market, the time it was taken to sell homes, did drop a little bit in November and headed back down closer to the 70-day range from maybe the 75-day range. And prices, the yellow line, we can see that's just pretty well been flat, September, October, November, which in this market is not necessarily bad news. Again, the last 12 months we can see what's happened on price here, but it pretty much supports what I've been saying for a while now, and that is that I feel the market in St. Louis has hit bottom, albeit a rocky bottom, so we're going to see some little gyrations up and down. We're not in a recovery yet, but being just establishing a good solid base at bottom here would be a good thing after what we've been through. This next slide here shows the ratio of the price homes have sold for versus what they were listed for. The yellow line shows the sales price to the list price at the time of sale, so after seller had made adjustments along the way. The red line shows the sales price in relation to the original list price that the home came out at. This does not. This chart doesn't show home values or what homes are worth. This is more a scorecard on how the realtors are doing, the real estate agents and the brokers that are listing these homes. And frankly, it's pretty poor, because if when we look at this red line, we can see basically homes are selling for, it has increased a little bit the last couple of months, but basically just a tad over 90% of what they were originally listed for. And the highest we've seen is about 92% during spring and summer. So that means homes are hitting the market really overpriced. This should be a much higher percentage if they were being priced accurately. In a market like this, sellers do not want to be reaching for the stars. Prices are not going up. There's not more buyers out there than homes for sale. This is a market that you want to price your home very accurately from the start. Now we can see by the yellow line, eventually, after however long they're sitting on the market and however long it's taken for the agent to wake up and realize it's overpriced or convince the seller, and get the price down, eventually they're selling for about 96% of what they're listed for, at the time of sale. But again, at More Realtors, this is one of the things we really focus on, both the buyers and sellers. We feel we have the most market data available of any realtor in St. Louis, and the most timely data, and present it. We know how to interpret the data, apply it to your particular situation, and this is exactly what we do in our training to our agents. And so we'd love the opportunity to show you that. Now let's move on here. This chart shows the listing inventory in terms of months supply for the St. Louis 5-county area. And so basically, in terms of the number of listings out there and based upon current sales, we can see November ended about an 8.5 month supply of homes. That's up a little bit from the low in the summer. It's down from over 12 months back in January, February. The norm would be more like 6 months supply, so it's still high in terms of inventory. And this is a little bit of a longer term look on home prices, median list prices as well as median sales prices over the past 5 years. So looking back to 2006, kind of the peak of the market, to 2011, the blue line shows what list prices have done. Medians went from about 170,000 down to about 140, and the green line, sales prices, went from maybe about 155,000 down to about 120,000. During that period, about a 20% decline in median home prices over the past 5 years. And again, we can see there's still a pretty good gap here, and a kind of a growing gap between list prices and sales prices. So that goes back to what I was talking about before. Just how good a job, do the agents have these tools available to know what the right prices should be, and then how good of a job are they doing conveying this to sellers. Okay, this is what I've given you here has been a real quick, or as quick as I can do it at least, an overview of the St. Louis housing market. I do this every week. It'll show you where the market's going, where it's been, and but it's just a small sample of all the market data and the helpful tools and the resources that we have available to you, whether you be a home seller, a buyer, or an investor. And we'd love to help you. You can see here in the upper left-hand corner, we've got we can pull data and show you on graphs and charts data by subdivision, zip code, municipality, whatever. You can obtain market reports for your market or for a particular municipality or several of them, and receive email updates from our website at mo-re.com. If you scan the QR code up here to the left of the chart, that'll take you right there. Upper right hand corner here you see a sample of our monthly newsletter. We've got a real helpful and informative electronic newsletter that comes out monthly via email. It has several charts showing what's going on price-wise in the market. These are real-time charts. It has some articles about the market. You can search MLS. It's got some useful tools for buyers, sellers, lots of good stuff there. You can sign up for that from our website or from stlouisrealestatenews.com, or just scan the little QR code there to the right and it'll take you directly to the forum. Down here, the arch photo there, our logo. This market update video is available via podcast from iTunes, and you can go to iTunes to the store, search St. Louis Real Estate Market Update, look for that arch, and subscribe, or just scan the QR code to the left of the arch there, and you'll be taken right to the iTunes page. We also you can obtain this and a lot of other information on our Facebook page at facebook.com/more realtors. Or you can obtain these market updates on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/more realtors. And over here you see our leadership, myself, my partner John Williams, and our new addition to our leadership team, Nick Seapack. Nick joined us along with his office, or most of his agents from RE/MAX Midwest recently, and we welcome him to our team, and him and his agents provide yet just additional resources for our clients out there. Beneath each of us, you'll see the QR codes. Those are complete with our contact information, so you can contact any of us through there. Finally, to keep the attorneys happy, here's our disclosures, disclaimers, and everything else. You can read that at your leisure. And that is it for this week. So until next week, God bless you, and I'll see you next week.